Has anybody seen Dean? Well, Dean has. He's over here pushing the record button. Let me come around. There I am. So this video is all due to Joan Goldwyn, who said, you should make a video. So I am. And the idea behind the video is, what can you do with an Instant Pot? I bought this mammoth thing, the biggest one I think, 7 quarts, because I make yogurt in it. No more playing around with a thermos or playing around with a thing in my oven with the door propped open. You throw the stuff in, blah blah, next day you have yogurt. So here we are. I'm going to hit saute. You can't see the buttons because I have an extension cord going over to a kitchen outlet. And this video I'm going to put with another one I made on YouTube. Oh, saute is on, I better hurry. That means a little good olive oil. What am I making? I'm making America's Test Kitchen's minestrone soup. So there's, I don't know, a bunch of olive oil. And I'll let it start to heat. Have my glasses ready because I'm 56 years old and that's just a big swimming mess of grayish, bluish stuff. Yep, it says saute, it says less, that's what I want. So as I go along, I'll, rather than holding up the America's Test Kitchen recipe, I'll just hold the items up as I put them in and tell you what I cut up and what goes in. But Instant Pot, I thought that'll be my first video because it's like a fad and everyone's buying them. But all you need is a pressure cooker. You put the pressure cooker on the stove, you saute the crap in the pot, then you put the other stuff in with the liquids, seal it up, and pressure cook for 20 or 30 minutes. But someone put it all in one, and lots of buttons and digital shit, and suddenly you have America's fad. So, my little video too, oh, by the way, this is sitting here because my lighting that you can see me is the brass library lamp from my front room for attractive outdoor lighting when you drive by my house. And I set that up out here. But the other video I never told Joan about is on YouTube, and I modeled it after the Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You Give A, and that word is not for children. But it has a lot of interesting words, and it made it on the New York Times bestseller list. So I posted it for 18 and only. And this here going in to saute is, it called for 2 medium onions. When I went at my 2 medium onions, I realized 1 medium onion from an Aldi's looked like half of it was blue and rotting. So that went away, and I took a large and a medium. In it goes. Clearly goes up to temp quickly because listen to that. And the other part of cooking in my kitchen is I'm always sipping. So that'll be right there. And the only thing I did not put into, sorry Dan Souza, chief editor of America's Test Kitchen, Cook's Country, all that wonderful stuff that I'm always watching, is I'm a vegetarian, so I did not put in pancetta. Also, I was in a family in Italy many times over the last 40 years, and, well, pancetta ought to be there, but mi dispiace, Anna. And when that gets cooked a little bit, translucent, then I'll throw in the garlic. It said 2 cloves of garlic. I said, what the hell? 2 for this big 7-quart thing? No way. So I went with 5. Cinque. I went with 5. If we're making una minestra, there's got to be some flavor. And if you know garlic, when you saute it first, it loses all that pungency. It's not going to be like when you eat raw garlic. If I just tossed it into the soup at the end and stirred it around, of course it would have that really biting flavor, but when you saute it, it loses that. So 2 cloves is for absolute wimps. But then I also want to say, why do I do so much home cooking? Anybody that knows me from Facebook, that's all I'm doing is cooking, cooking, cooking. But I have the BRCA1 gene mutation. I lost 2 siblings already to cancer. My grandfather in Canada died of pancreatic cancer. A cousin in Canada, the same, and my uncle from Canada, right down the line. So, not me. So, from watching smoke points of oils to the benefits of various ingredients in our foods, what I'm washing myself with in the shower, and the sheets I'm sleeping on, all kinds of stuff, no cancer for me. And that means garlic. Another little tip is chop it and let it sit at least 10 minutes. Whether you press it or chop it, read about it. Garlic has way more health benefits when you let it sit having been chopped than if you just chop it and throw it in. So that went through a press. They said press it or chop it. What I like to do, if I don't put it through my press, this little gadget my neighbor Sharon gave me. Hi Sharon! It's Suisse. No, it's Key. Something from Switzerland. It's got little grates in the top. There's another grate for larger chunks. These would be more slices. The other one is for finely diced. You just put them right on top, clap it down, boom. You can take like 10 cloves if you want. And then there's a little pull-out tray. I use that all the time if I need a whole bunch of it. But otherwise, the press. So, since we're going to be doing other time with other stuff, here comes the garlic. What I mean by more time, more stuff, I don't want the onions to end up mush because they're also going to be in the pressure cook mode. So in goes the garlic. Like I said, don't be afraid of garlic. Don't be wusses. 5 cloves, it'll cook, it'll mellow. Now the other thing, anybody who knows me in my circle of Cortland friends, as I place my wine there is a comedy show called Drunk History. And I want to assure my Cortland friends, this is not my 3rd or 4th. So you're not getting drunk cooking. You're getting Dean just started to sip cooking. There. I can already smell that garlic, man. And after that will come the other stuff to saute before you set it to pressure cook to make the soup. And my plan, because America's Test Kitchen is for a pot on the stove. So I think there might be some skill here. I adapted it. I've made it 2 or 3 times in the Instant Pot. It's real college education going to work here. You take the hard stuff, the carrots, the celery. You saute them first a couple of minutes. Then you throw in the softer stuff, the zucchini, the cabbage. And then you saute that a bit. And then you add in the liquids, and then you set it to pressure cook. So I'll let the garlic do what it's supposed to do. Adding that the first video I made, I said I wanted it to be authentic. I'm normally back from the gym about 4 p.m. and then I sit around drinking a pot of tea, and then I go shower, and by the time I start cooking anything for dinner, I'm in my boxer shorts and a t-shirt. But for YouTube, on a 18 plus channel, if you want to see me in my dolphins or my grizzly bear boxer shorts I sleep in with my Brew 64 t-shirt from drinking pints of beer, okay, but otherwise, for YouTube, alright, for Facebook, I dressed. There. Smelling like it's enough, looking enough. That was the onion, medium onion and a half, and 5 cloves of garlic. Now comes, it said 1 medium carrot. I'm like, again, what the hell? It's a pot of soup. So here are 3 organic carrots going in. And with that, I don't know what it said. I could look at it. I think I will. It said 2 medium celery ribs, and I did 3, but I didn't do the ribs because, again, I'm adapting. I don't like just the ribs. I like the leaves. So my organic celery, I just took like the whole stalk. The package was £1, so it was one of the 2 bunches. It was probably then 1/2 pound of celery, but all those leaves that you get in the middle, they went in. I'll be throwing that in my sink, and my maid will be coming in later to clean up. Because this is, you know, like those cooking shows on TV, here on the Magic Mile, known as Groton Ave in Cortland, New York. There ain't no maid. So, let that saute a bit. Unfortunately, we don't have the Hollywood camera or Burbank Studios where I can splice it all together. I can now say, hey, I'm sauteing carrots. Show you 3 minutes of me sauteing carrots. No. No splicing, chopping. You get the full 3 minutes waiting because I don't have a cameraman. I don't have a tech crew. So after a bit, the carrot will saute. As I said, those were 3 carrots, maybe about that long. And everything I do, I try to do organic. Again, because of the fear of the C word, not cholera. And midwinter, normally, you know, if it were midsummer, in my backyard I have 3 raised beds, and I would have my own zucchini. But next going in, after, oops, I forgot, the cabbage, would be I bought one, what I consider small cabbage, and I was going to use all of it, and I said, uh-oh, don't do it. I'm glad I didn't, or it would be up to here before I added any liquids. So that was half of a small cabbage. Again, starting to saute, and it'll go down to way less than you'd expect because cabbage has a lot of water in it. And as you can see, it's probably going to ruin my hair. I blow dried and everything to make a video, and now I'm standing over a pot of steam. But that will cook down, and then I will add zucchini, let that saute a bit, and then the other magical item I'm sharing, since it is una minestra, and you have to know what that has to mean, what it is, but we'll leave that a secret until I toss it into my Instant Pot. I think it's time to sip. I think on my Google Pixel 6, again, not a Burbank studio, if only I were Rachel Ray or Dan Souza, that Lydia lady, or... No, just the Magic Mile here on Groton Ave, right down from the Burger King. I'm only going to let it soften a bit more. And why? I could have rules and tell you how long, but then my video would be like 45 minutes long and people would see that and go, delete. So it's actually in these maybe 2 minutes softened enough that I'm going to throw in the zucchini. Can you see it without me tossing it all onto my Korean counter? But that was 1 medium zucchini. It's the only the only non-organic item going in. I apologize, but being organic is great, but it's also a cost factor, and the zucchini at Aldi's was not organic. So now we'll let the zucchini saute a bit in that heat. And I think I'll show this. Eventually, after everything is all sauteed and looking good, you throw in that surprise item. And I want to show you, if you buy an Instant Pot, mine anyway, came with this great chart of everything, how long in the Instant Pot you need it to pressure cook for. And it's really amazing. Some things like, I've made Indian kidney beans that are with a curry sauce, and I throw the kidney beans in dry and add my liquids, add my spices, and within a short amount of time they're soft, with no soaking overnight, any of that. Now I want to talk about that. Another thing about my fear of cancer and good health is phytic acid. P-H-Y-T-I-C, read about it. Everything from breakfast cereals based on wheat, all the hot cereals like cream of wheat, etc. Read about phytic acid and problems for small children. Any nut, grain, or seed, because of its nature, is covered in phytic acid. That means no animal is going to want to eat it, so it's going to germinate. But with water, it washes off. So it catches the rain, it's in the ground, it grows. So it's nature's guarantee that more is going to germinate. And that is a reason, because my hope is you will buy bags of dried beans and not buy that tin can and pop it open with all the tin and all of the whatever that plastic coating is inside, etc. But buy a bag of dried beans. Kidney beans, navy beans, cannellini beans, pinto beans, whatever. But just soak them overnight, give them a good rinse, and all that phytic acid is gone. A lot of impurities also gone. But I want you to read up about that and what phytic acid is. P-H-Y-T-I-C. So, for the sake of my video not being, again, 45 minutes long, I'm going to throw in what are white beans. That could have been a bad video. Being covered in a rain of white beans. But the recipe said a half a cup, and last night when I put them on the boil to let them soak overnight, I looked at it and I said, what the hell? That's not very much. So I doubled it. And now I look at it doubled. I may not put them all in and make some a late night snack. But these were soaked overnight after boiling them. Oh, what the hell. And the phytic acid went down my drain rather than into my minestrone soup. So there we go. Now comes, it says, the rind of a Parmesan cheese. Of course Dean has that, he's cooking all the time. But I didn't know how it would work out in an Instant Pot, so I didn't want to throw the whole rind in, so I chopped it up into tiny little diced pieces. Good luck. Then comes, it says, chicken broth. I'd like you to YouTube and read about chicken production in the United States. You won't sleep for 3 days. Well, 3 nights. And therefore, I will go to my fridge. It's on the other side of my production team that's filming. And One of the little projects in my life is I make my own bone broth. Every time I use chicken or beef products, beef is like never, maybe lamb, and it's usually when I have people over because I'm a secretive vegetarian, but I make my own bone broth. And this very instant pot right here will make this huge glass jar. I have no idea what that quantity is, but you can see by my height, I'm not a midget and I'm not a basketball player, but it's as big as my head. And that comes full after this instant pot full of bone broth. So after I put that liquid gold back in my fridge, here is the 2 cups of chicken bone broth, all from organic bones. Ooh, what a sound. And my Scottish side, I waste nothing. God, I go nuts on the cooking shows when you see them with like half of the stuff stuck to the plate and they just keep on cooking. So we're now at the point with some liquid in. I did the bone broth first, not just chicken broth, but bone broth, homemade. And then it said, and this is the only thing that bothers me, but compared to using a bunch of supermarket tomatoes that have no flavor because it's not summertime with farmer markets, the America's Test Kitchen suggests V8 juice. That bothers me, but I'm going to do it. I read the soda content on the side, so it's going to be, that goes in, it's 28% soda, sodium, and there will be no more salt added to this soup. If it's somehow with that ended up bland, and that ain't gonna happen, I might add more sea salt or something, but with 28% sodium content, I think it's gonna be okay. So that all gets tossed around. With pressure cooking, the other thing about your Instant Pot to bring to your awareness, if you've never played with pressure cooking, is there are lines on the side telling you, if you're pressure cooking, don't go beyond here. That's why I did the tomato and the bone broth first, because I wanted the flavor. Later, we'll add the water, because I didn't want to put in all that and have a bunch of water. And then the flavor, I only have room for, a centimeter more. The other thing it calls for is red chili flakes. And I'm like, what? Toxic crap, all the spices and all the stuff like that you buy in the store have gone under radiation to have the bacteria dead, to get them in the plastic jars. And again, think about the plastic jars. So in my hand, I have a bunch of Thai chili peppers that came out of my beds in the back, and I think I'm actually going to get rid of the big one. I don't want to, I'm thinking of the days to come, not the right now, if you know what I mean. But I sometimes put them in a Ziploc bag and crunch them up, and I'm like, come on, be a man, just crunch them with all those hot seeds in your hand and let a layer of skin peel off in the next coming days. But those were raised in my garden, and then I put them through my dehydrator, and they end up in a glass jar like this in my pantry, and I have all the hot chili peppers I want for the coming year. There we go. Now let me wash those hands before I forget and go like that. And you get to see that live on video. Be right back, don't go away. I know you're riveted to this anyway, so you wouldn't think of leaving. In case I thought of plunging my face into this, or a hand right down the middle. The front says hot. So there we go. We have a bunch of zucchini, bunch of carrots, bunch of onion, bunch of garlic, bunch of red pepper. Not the bell pepper, but the hot red pepper. We have no salt because it's in that V8 juice. And the white beans and whatever you want. Navy beans, cannellini beans. Read up, they all cook down differently. They have different textures, the skin is different. But I think, unless I forgot something, let me look around. Other than the water, and the Canadian flag does not go in. I think we're good to go. Another thing I want to talk about, water. I have a KitchenAid fridge. It was like $2,200 in that's Alzheimer's, 2006 when I renovated this kitchen. And they told me I would have it for 7 years. I've had it for 16 already. And I trust the filtration. I buy the best filter I can get. But even with that, when I use water to cook or make tea or coffee, I let it sit. And why? I'm using water usually that I took out of the fridge filter 24 hours ago. And then in the sitting process, it allows all the chlorine to evaporate out of it. Read about that. I also have a chlorine filter on my shower head in the upstairs bathroom. So read, read, read. We are living in a toxic world. I'm not Amish, but I wish I were. I know it's supposed to be up to a mark, but I can't see the mark, so wait a minute. I can do a little more. Does Rachel Ray put on reading glasses in the middle of her show? There. Up to the PC max, it says. Well, I'm going to give it one smidge more. There's the line. All right. Makes me want to put in more of that hot pepper, but I'm not going to do it. All right. Now, with that, we're good to go. And we take it off of saute, which means I'm going to just cancel. Here is my lid as I look around for what I might have forgotten. Don't forget there is a vent, so every model is different whether you're pressing or turning, so read, like I said to students for 33 years, read. The lid goes on, makes noises too, and then you look for pressure cook. It gives me normal or high. I soaked them 24 hours. I don't want mush, so I'm going to have it be, I'm going to do the high. And then we go how long. If you go back to my handy dandy chart, it says for most of the dry beans, which you're putting them in dry, according to Instant Pot, 25 or 30 minutes. So it already went to on, and that's not what I wanted. I was showing my chart. So I'm going to cancel again, go to pressure cook, and I'm going to call it 25. So press the pressure cook. You canceled it after saute. Press the pressure cook. Set it by the minus sign from the 30 that was by default down to 25, and then let her go. And you will have this wonderful thing come out of this pot that is a totally yummy soup. I will check for, is just using the toxic product V8 juice enough salt content? If not, I will go over to my organic sea salt, add a little, maybe add some ground pepper, and probably end up grating in some more Parmesan cheese, and that would be another thing. I don't have any organic. So that's all you're getting out of my video. If you Want to do this at home? I say go to it. If you need any hot pepper, just come visit me on the Magic Mile. Bye.